Revelations are coming out from famed journalist Bob Woodward's new book on US President Donald Trump before its official release. Bloomberg has a copy of it and says President Trump made a decision in August last year to pull the US out of the World Trade Organization, NAFTA, and its trade deal with South Korea. For more on this and other news from around the world, let's turn to our Ro Aram. So, Aram, if President Trump had gotten his way, this really would have shaken up the global economy.
That's right, Mark. And according to the book, top White House officials rushed to stop the president from going ahead with those plans. Bloomberg cites the book as saying the economic advisor at the time, Gary Cohn, and Staff Secretary Robert Porter pulled Chief of Staff John Kelly into the Oval Office to convince Trump to back down. After that, then Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and Defense Secretary James Mattis got involved and painted a dire picture of the national security and economic consequences of such a move. They managed to convince President Trump of backing down from his decision, but that didn't last very long. In early September last year, he was reported to have a draft letter giving the required 180-day notice to pull out of the KORUS FTA. Woodward suggests the letter was likely drafted by White House advisor Peter Navarro or Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, who frequently clashed with Cohn and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin over trade policy. Again, several top aides stepped in, with Mnuchin apparently saying pulling out of the KORUS FTA would jeopardize Trump's efforts to pass massive tax cuts by upsetting free trade Republicans in Congress. President Trump was said to have agreed to hold off, but only until the tax legislation was passed. Woodward's book describes similar scenarios for Trump's decision to pull out of NAFTA and the WTO, with his top aides painting a grim picture of the economic and security consequences that would follow. The Trump administration is facing an in-house loyalty crisis, as Woodward's book and an op-ed in the New York Times by an unnamed senior official suggests there is a movement inside the West Wing to thwart the president's agenda. Many of those officials cited in the book have since left the White House, with few left to discourage President Trump's eagerness to pull out of international trade deals.